Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is a Let's Build video. What are Let's Build videos and what they're all about? Well, Let's Build video, I take a model kit and I show you guys how to put it together. If there's any areas of concern on the sprue, as in things on the sprue are numbered differently to the instructions, or there's when you take the piece off the sprue, there's a little bit that's meant to stay like a pin and it doesn't look like it's meant to be there when you're snipping it. I give you guys a heads up. If you're interested in models for an army that you have or that you're thinking of collecting, again, this is a visual way to help you guys out. These Let's Build videos are designed to help anyone of any age, any skill level. If you suffer with dyslexia or just struggle with instruction in general, again, this is a visual way to help you. So for all my regulars here, guys, I feel love. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so you would have seen from the thumbnail, I'm going to be building a Wolf Lord Battle Leader today. Now, this is one of Mark's models, because Mark actually loves building models. So he's asked me if I could do it for him, and do it for you guys as well. So massive thank you to Mark. So before we go through the sprue, look at the sprue, we go for tools needed as always. So we have mould line scraper. Now you can use a hobby knife or some sort of surgical blade. If you're using a sharp tool, just be careful because it's sharp. Make sure there's no little kids around. Make sure there's no animals that can jump up and, make sure nobody scares you whilst you're doing it. That's the most important thing. Clippers, most useful part of our kit. I do have sanding sponge. It's basically sandpaper with sponge in the middle. It's perfect for chains and things like that. Pipes and all that stuff. You can have sanding sponge or sanding block. The block is more rigid and it's not as flexible. It's best used for tanks and stuff. This is also brilliant when you've built the model and it's the glue's fully cured. You can actually go through this and just tidy up any bits that you've missed whilst putting it together. You'll find this in the hardware shop somewhere near the sandpaper and wallpaper. Somewhere there, could be somewhere in between the two, but that's where it'll be. It's a plastic kit. So plastic glue. So as always, my regulars know what happens next, but for those of you that are new to the channel, what we do is I'll go through the sprue and have a look, because sometimes you'll get so many parts on the sprue, it's a bit overwhelming, but really you only use half of what's on there. Okay, so let's have a look at this. We've got an arm. We've got this choice of 3 different heads. I'm waiting for Mark to let me know which head he wants me to use, but I can start with this for now because that's later on in the build. We've got the front of the body. We've got another arm. Backpack, back of the body, which is absolutely beautiful. One leg, got this lovely little bit here, with all the fur and the blade. That is for the front of the model. I can see that already by looking at this, but I flick my eyes over to the artwork of it and I can see that's where it goes. He's got a power blade, a power source I say, power weapon. This looks like another bit of arm. By the looks of it, because I see the back of the shield, there's a little slot in there. That looks like that slots into it, which is the way they've done that is very, very handy if that's the case. Plasma pistol, bolt pistol, or heavy bolt pistol, thunder hammer, another bit of arm, shoulder pauldron. Oh, there's another shoulder pauldron anyway. There's this lovely little bit of fur. By the looks of that, that'll go across his shoulder, across his back. Got a leg. We've got the shin guard bits. So most Space Marine kits they build now are very, very straightforward, very simple. Sometimes I have to go ahead and glue like a few bits together, like say the weapon to the arm. So you're not trying to glue the arm on with the weapon half hanging off and sitting this like that. So I'm going to finish getting set up and I'm going to come back to you then for the first pieces. Right, very straightforward. We need number 1 and number 2. That's the back of the body and the front of the body. So for those of you that are new to building models, you always dry fit it first. What that means is there's no glue on it, so I can just line up where it goes. This best way to do this is by the top. So that's where the head's going to go. So they line up like that. Now does appear to be a little gap there. So then you can double check and make sure there's no bits of sprue, like little nipple bits of sprue on there. There we go. That looks pretty good. The only thing with the instructions, I wish it would show you on the side, that's what it's meant to look like from this angle, or that's what it's meant to look like from that angle. It doesn't, it just shows you that angle like that. But you know, I'm experienced enough of this, I can see that's where the head goes. So I know as soon as that lines up, because there's a little diamond shape in there. Let's have a look at someone's head. Yep, the heads have a little diamond pip at the bottom, so it's a slot in there. So I'm going to glue it together and come back to you for the next piece. Right, so the next piece we need is number 3, which is the leg and the foot on the rock, and number 4, which is the shin guard in the corner here. So most of you know how this goes, but for the people that are new, just be careful with that little bit there. Like not when you're handling it now, but when you're cleaning it down, it just glues on there. But you can see there's a little pip there that I've missed, so I'm going to have to go back over and just give that a little clean up. But that just slots in there, nice and easy. Again, it's a dry fit, so there's no glue involved for the minute. I'm going to clean that, finish cleaning that, and then go back and glue it. Right, so the next one we need is number 5 and number 6, exactly the same as the first one. Now, if I say to you, this first one, okay, is for this side of the model, and the other leg is for that side of the model. Okay, it'll be completely self-explanatory when you put it put it together. But just in case, I know some people will snip all the bits off and glue it together and go, oh no, what side does that go? First one, 3 and 4 goes this side, 5 and 6 go this side. So I'm taking off 5 and 6 now. Right, so now it's time to glue the legs on. This is going to throw a lot of you, so I'll show you this. You can see there's that funny little bit at the back here that slots in underneath there. Okay, and the other side goes in the same. This one's a little bit more fiddly to get in. To get it in. There we go, like that. Okay, so the point of connection between them is between that little bit there. But you can see how it sits on top there, nice and easy. So I'm going to glue those into place. So before that's fully cured, we're going to go on to the next piece and then jump ahead and base on the base. Okay, so the next piece we need is number 7, which is the lovely pelt. Let's see it, there it is, number 7. So I'll clip it, clean it, and I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so this piece just slots in the front here. Now, if these legs are slightly off, this piece should push them into place. This one wants to be a bit more difficult. There we go, like so. Nice and easy. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the base, because it's not telling me to do this next, it's telling me to do arms. But I think if I put them on the base, putting them on the base is not going to interfere with anything else. So if I get him on the base now, when I come to putting arms on the stuff, he's got a nice steady base to start with. And if you've got to this stage and this is slightly wrong, the foot placement, where the glue is still curing, you put the glue on there and put them on the base, it will level itself off properly. Okay, so I'm going to glue them onto the base and come back to you for the next piece. Right, just be aware of this model. I put the stone on there for, oh no, it's not flat, and then I realised yes, it is flat because the stone actually comes up towards the end. Okay, now Marcus told me what he wants armed on this model, so Thunder Hammer and Storm Shield. So we're going to start with the Storm Shield arm because there's a few bits that go together. So we need 15 and 16. 15 is in the corner here next to the hammer, and then 16 is that piece there. Okay, so I'm going to clip those, clean those, and I'll show you how they go together. So these two bits are actually brilliant. So first of all, we know the shield sits on there, nice and easy. There's the hand holding the shield, great. Now this is the other piece. Now, that's where the shoulder pauldron is going to go on. So that means this little weird shape here and this little weird shape here, they just slot into each other. Nice and easy. So I'm going to glue them into place and I'll come back for the shield then. So the next one we need is number 17, which is the shield. Let's just take a moment and look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely amazing shield. The only thing that would make it better is if there was two different options for a shield. Like you had one like this and you had one like the traditional Terminator Storm, Thunderhammer Storm shield. But that's actually brilliant, I love that. Right, so this then piece slots into there. Make sure the fur that's hanging off is then to the side. Just slots in like so. Nice and easy. When you're doing yours, glue him. You know, if you've seen this video before you've got yours or started doing yours, I would probably do, and you're going to give Thunderhammer and Storm Shield, do this first. Doing this isn't going to interfere with nothing on a model. So do this one first, is my advice. Right, so the next one that we need is number 8, which is this one here. And then you've got the choice between 10, which is the sword, or number 9, which is the Thunderhammer. Mark wants the Thunderhammer. So 8 and 9, I'm going to snip off, clean them down, show you how they go together. Right, so they clean down. Just bear in mind, there is mould lines on the flat surfaces really bad. Be careful of this little leather strap as well. Now there is a square pin. There is a square pin, square hole. That just slots in there, like so. So I'm going to glue that into place, and then I'll come back to you for the next pieces. Right, so the next thing to do is glue the arms on. So this one goes on this side. You can see there's a weird little shape there. You can see it slots in there. Okay, so it goes on there. This one then, there is a weird little groove, a little V-shaped groove. You can see it goes in there, so it just slots in. Okay, so I'm going to glue those into place and then come back to you for the next piece. So if you wanted to, the little square piece that slots into the gap, you could snip that off the arm piece and you could glue that flat surface to the flat surface. That gives you the option of having the hammer at a different angle. But I think that looks absolutely amazing. Anyway, so the next pieces needed are number 11, which is this shoulder pauldron here, goes on this side, and number 18, which is this one down here, goes on this side. I'm going to snip them off, clean them down, put them on the sides. I'm going to show you how one goes on. The other one goes on exactly the same, but the other side. Okay, so number 18. The best way to do this, slide it in from the top. This should just sit in there nicely. That might be a bit too high actually. It's perfect, there we go. And the other one goes the other side. Okay, so I'm going to glue that into place and come back for the next piece. Right, just to correct myself, that first one wasn't exactly right. It wasn't in there snug enough. What happens is the fur all lines up both sides. Okay, there is like a little weird shape on either side of the shoulder pauldron, and it just slots into the fur, so it makes the fur one piece. Okay, so I'm going to that's that now. So the next piece that we need is number 19, which is this piece here. Okay, so whilst that glue's still curing, we're going to come in with this piece. If there's anything slightly off, this piece added into it should line it all up perfectly, but it looks perfect to me. So this piece literally just slots in over there like that, lining up the fur and slide it on. Nice and easy. You might have to just keep giving it a little bit of a push. This side's trying to come away, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to not squeeze glue out, but just run a little bead into there and then give it another little push. I'll hold it for a few minutes, hold it for a few minutes. Right, so the next piece needed is number 20, which is the backpack. This one's very, very straightforward. You would have guessed it. It just slots in that little triangle, that little pin on the back. That just slots in, and actually sits in there. Sorry, sits in there nicely. That looks absolutely brilliant. So now it's just choice of heads. So we have 3 amazing heads here. We have this guy with the hair blown off to the side, some braids there, nice beard. We have this guy who has the hair up in the air. It looks like a bionic eye, which again is absolutely amazing. Look at the braids on there. To me that screams wash. One colour, wash, and then just dry brush it. Or we have the helmeted head with a nice little plume of hair on top, bionic eye again. So I'm just going to wait for Mark to get back to me which one he wants, and then I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so he wants this head here. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to snip it, clean it, I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so the little pin at the bottom here sits in there, okay, to give you the angle for the head, which I believe this guy goes in this way. Look at the artwork. But if you're struggling to get that in on this head or any of the 2 other heads, all you do is come in your clippers, snip that little pin off, because there's a little black bowl at the bottom here, and there's a bowl there, so it will just sit into it anyway. That way you can position the head any way you want. Okay, so I'm going to glue this into place and then come back to you for final thoughts. Now, there we are. Straight off the bat, guys, I want to say this is a sexy model. Absolutely amazing. A joy to build. I actually was expecting, when I looked at the instructions, I see the connection between the hammer and the hand and the shield, and I was expecting that to be an absolute nuisance, because for everyone that's new, mostly when you do hand to arm connection, it's a tiniest little groove or tiniest little pin, and you have to hold it for ages. But this was actually perfect. I like the way the shield went on. Absolutely brilliant. The only areas of concern I would say to you is, don't glue, the body and everything else in the legs, and then glue the arms on and leave it to dry. You want it to be curing, but enough to get the shoulder pads in, because you might have to just move the arms a little bit to get shoulder pads in. Of any plastic model, if you can, do it in one go, then build it in one go, just in case you have to maneuver anything slightly differently, because it can tell you to put it in a certain way. You put it in that way, it looks great. As soon as you go to the next stage, it's not quite right, or it won't go in properly for whatever reason. If you're using plastic glue, which you should be using on plastic models, it gives you a little bit of playtime. Difficulty rating for this guy, I'd give him like a 2. For everyone that's new, my difficulty rating goes 1 to 10. Difficulty rating of 1 being scarab swarms, nurglings, ripper swarms, silly little things like that. A 10, as it stands at the moment, I think the only models that have gone into a 10 were the flayed ones, but I've since discovered an easy way to do those, and the Silent King, because they're just absolute. They're the type of models that you build, and once they're done, you're glad they're done. But yeah, this guy's like a 2. But the detail on him is absolutely. I can't wait to see Mark paint him up. See Mark does fur absolutely brilliantly. I can't wait. This is actually making me want to go and buy one for myself now. Absolutely fantastic model. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button because it costs you absolutely nothing. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. Everyone smash the thumbs up button so it triggers YouTube, shares this video with more and more people, which makes this incredible community of you guys grow even more. If you have any thoughts or comments about this model, chuck them below as always, guys. If you want to support the channel even further, there is a join button below. You can click on that and become a member of the channel. I appreciate every single one of you that becomes members of the channel. So guys, thanks for watching. Comments below, hit the buttons for me. Until next time, take it easy.